So I'm just gonna list off my favorite tracks by The Doors, and if you don't like how I'm introing or starting this, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. So we got Break On Through to the Other Side, 20th Century Fox, Light My Fire, Take It As It Comes, The End, Strange Days, Moonlight Drive, People Are Strange, Not to Touch the Earth, Shaman's Blues, Wild Child, Waiting for the Sun, Peace Frog, Land Ho, Indian Summer, La America, Riders on the Sun. I thought there was actually going to be one more, but I saw Sid Barrett, his octopus. It kind of looked like Riders on the Storm. I was going so fast. I was going so fast, man. I'm fucking the Flash. Anyway, sorry. I'm a fucking idiot. Death rock, psychedelic rock, gothic rock, early, prototype, all that blah, 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 bullshit, label shit. Gotta talk about it. You need to be able to describe it in some way instead of, describing fucking like 20 words when you could just say one or two. They did something different. I think they had, I don't know if they had a live touring bassist, or I can't remember, or no, I think it's the other way around. They had a bassist, I think, on the recordings, but when they played live, Ray Manzarek would play the bass as well as the lead guitar, keyboard, or just keyboards. Sometimes it wasn't always the lead. But you got Robbie, you got sorry, I have not listened to this band in actually quite a bit of time. Actually, it's one of those times where you listen to them so much you gotta step away. Happened with Nirvana, Wu-Tang Clan's first album, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar. This happened a couple times. So you got Ray Manzarek, Robbie Krieger, John Densmore, and Jim Morrison. Or Jim Hendrix. I can't remember which one. I'm so stupid. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so, great poet, flawed motherfucking individual. He liked chaos more than he liked creating, frankly. But I think that might have been just due to his issues, whatever, growing up and things he didn't address. And he just decided to run away from and hide from, and then the people around him had to deal with. I read both. I read both John Densmore's book and Ray Manzarek's book. I don't know if Robbie's got a book. If he did, I'd probably read it. I wrote a bunch of them, or not wrote, I read a bunch of them. I don't know if I said read, I don't remember. Anyway, so I read a bunch of autobiographies or biographies on, and anyway, so you could definitely, you got two different perspectives. You got a guy who was more, obviously more friends with Jim, and then you got another bandmate. And with Ray, he's kind of like juggling, being a friend compared to being a bandmate. And it's not like John didn't, he kind of obviously I'm sure he liked fucking Jim enough, And I don't think, but obviously, he rightfully was this guy's fucking acting crazy. We just want to make, this is a career and this is not going to last forever. And this guy's throwing it away because he can't control himself. He can't, get help. And he's deciding not to get help. And it's unfortunate I gotta be fucking a part of this wagon. So, and the horse, and he's Jim Morrison is the fucking wild stallion, fucking galloping too fucking fast, and they might go off a cliff, and they end up going off a fucking cliff. They make a couple of albums without Jim. It's what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? You make a new fucking band, and you could have done New Order. Could have done what New Order did. I don't know. I think about the 1990s Sandlot movie, the first one. It's got that. I think it's green pepper, or green onions. Maybe that's not what it is. I don't fucking remember what it is. That might have been one of them. But just kind of that baseball kind of. It's not just baseball. I don't know, just 50s, 60s. Rock and roll of sorts, but also through a psychedelic lens, and then obviously Jim fucking pulling out Shakespearean or that kind of Renaissance romantic period kind of whatever the fuck. I'm sure I just named off 3 different periods. I don't know I don't give a shit. You got jazz. I would say. Once again, this is a jazz blues hybrid. I already mentioned the other. Just today about another jazz blues hybrid band. I can't remember, but. like Amy, I would say it was like jazz, blues, psychedelic rock, hard rock, just regular rock and roll. And I'm sure I can name off some other, art rock, whatever.